Welcome back, YouTube. I wanted to provide an update tonight on the price action, kind of like we can expect going into next week. I know I was right about the move to the upside. I said just give it like a week, and we got it within like 3 to 4 days. So this is my next look, I guess, into the near future here. And something I noticed here on the charts, and this is one of the things that sometimes I was mentioning that sometimes Doge moves relatively quickly. You'll have like these slow points where it's kind of doing like this test here to kind of break out, and then it moves relatively quickly to the next level, the next zone. And I wanted to point this out here just to kind of show you that before I switch charts here. Where we are now is we've been here before, right? This is a very, like I say, it's prominent number, but right around 17, 18, this is where we have to kind of like break where we get that liquidity. But the run to 20 cent, 22 cent is relatively quick. And the reason I say that is because if we look here in the past, every time we went there, it was always gaps in really big candles, right? Well, at least compared to not necessarily God candles, I won't say really big, but big, large candles compared to what we're seeing right now, right? So we're talking about like here back in April 12th, April 13th range, March 15th, March 14th, and then of course March 3rd and March 4th. If you go back here and look at the wicks on these candles and the sizes of these candles, you'll see the price action that was happening there, even here on like the ascension here. So basically what this means is we got it to the green on the positive side and we got it to the red on the downside, or the negative side. That you can confirm that as a gap territory. Now, gaps are something that consistently fill, right? It's kind of like racing toward pools of liquidity, right? So even if it's to the upside here, when it breaks, you have a large volume of liquidity that comes into the asset. So that's why you get like these larger candles here to run. This is why you have like these 3 consecutive green days, these big candles here, even when they try and push it lower here, like down to 12 cent, but it still closes up at around like 15. But the volume for the day was up at 2080. So this is why there's a lot of volume coming in here. And you see this here as well. Those gaps typically get filled. So they're racing in, and even to the downside, the liquidity, when it breaks down to the downside, the liquidity races out. So it's known to fill. So right now we're threatening to fill to the upside. And the unique thing here about this is not only are we getting the golden cross, but we're positioning ourselves to fill this gap to the upside and also create this bowl, right? So the bowl here, you can kind of consider this here to be, I guess, like the left side of the bowl. You consider this to be, you can even see it here, right? Even the 14-day, this yellow line, it looks like a bowl. So typically you'll have some people, they've been drawing like a big green candle here on some of the things I've been seeing like on X. Well, it's not actually too far off, right? That's typically, it's a range of motion you can expect. Now we have some things obviously in the near term to confirm before we do something like that, but it's actually not a crazy assumption. So filling this bowl here would put us moving relatively rapidly between like 20 and 22 cent, which is that retest area. Once we break that, which sends us into the territory of like going and chopping down like the 20 range. Now, again, we're going to have this 14, the 72 cross, this golden cross here, just in case this is your first video. Brief recap, 14 and 72 are threatening to cross here. Sometime within, I say, the next 72 hours, we're going to have this huge indicator for Doge. Last time this happened was around like February 23rd, 24th, and we pretty much had a 200% plus increase in price action, running from around 8 cent to around 23 cent, almost 22.8 here at the peak. So having this repeat here puts us somewhere between around like 39 and 45, depending on where exactly we close. We have this cross at. The 72 has flattened. Right now we're well above the 72. So we're going to get that price action there. The other indicators as far as for the market, Bitcoin's already crossed. The total market cap is looking to cross probably tomorrow, Monday, at the latest, I'll say, if I'm going off of memory. So we are in position to have that allocation of capital come into the market here, and they're just trending right along with the big guys, the big boys in the crypto area. So we can expect that move to the upside as well. So we have a few indicators here that are telling us we have a move to the upside coming in the near future. So if I had to put a time frame on it, I don't necessarily say put a time frame on it, but I would expect that move somewhere between now and like Wednesday, Thursday of next week. I think it will give us an idea of the volume going forward, because technically speaking, we can see a gradual like ascension here. Let me put a line here. So you can see the explosive price action here. Let's just say we get to around like 17 cent and then we put a candle here and we go retest, right? That's a use case scenario. Or we can have this trend where we are not necessarily being aggressive, but after we technically get this cross, get this indicator of the uptrend here, we continue on this trend here, which is not as aggressive, but it's still an uptrend here, right? Because this is basically breaking to establish the new leg here in the trend. And obviously, we have the history of around like 18 cent and the 22 cent mark, but this would technically be the signal for the second leg. And that's one of the bigger things that we're going to talk about here in the coming days here is what is the strength of this second leg going to mean for the coin? What does that mean for going forward? We're going to talk about that. But those are a couple scenarios that you can kind of look forward to playing out within the next few days. And that'll kind of give us an idea of where we're going to land in the next few days as well, and how quickly we're going to get there, because we can have the big candle fill with a gap, or we can see the gradual candles here, smaller momentum, but still, gradually continuing trend here and going higher. In my opinion, it's likely that we'll probably do a few more of the smaller candles, but at some point this gap fills to the upside, right? And then we go and we test some of these numbers here. We have a couple of tests we can do. Obviously, we have one that we're relatively close to now, which is around the 18 cent mark. But some of the bigger ones will obviously be the 20 cent and around that 22 cent mark for things to kind of test to the upside. So those are a couple things that we can do in the next few days here. And that'll kind of give us an idea of how aggressive this move is going to be to the upside. So let's take a quick look here at, as a matter of fact, I want to take a look at shorts real quick because I did not check them out earlier today. Yeah, doing exactly what we thought. No price movement really, down 0.45%. So this is them just want some exposure, but they're hanging out around that 200-day moving average. So no confidence from them as far as for the price going down. So that's a good sign here. You want to kind of confirm data to make sure that you're not going against the grain here. So they're not necessarily confident that the price is going to go down. So that's kind of confirming what we're seeing here in the charts as well. And let's take a look here to see if shorts are betting on Bitcoin being dragged down. Let's see, because we've been doing this for the last few days. So Bitcoin shorts up 0.27%. On the day here. That's this very small candle you can't see. It's this little line here. You probably can't see it, but it's here. It's not this large one that was technically yesterday's candle. This is the range typically that they play in. We'll see if they begin to short above this. Now just keep in mind that Bitcoin is a much higher price range than Doge for shorts, but this range that they have here is typically a range that they like to short in. So you'll see that they'll typically come in, and you'll see some larger candles to the green, the green, and then the red where they come in just to kind of have like some exposure. So we'll see. And typically that's around that 70,000 mark. So let me go look, because Bitcoin 68,957. Yep. So anytime we get around this mark to kind of test, once we get close to the all-time high, short spike up. Just because they're hoping for another rejection. And that's something you can expect even with Dogecoin. Once we get around that point, they're hoping for another rejection. But again, we have the golden cross here for Bitcoin. And similar thing here, we don't necessarily have the bowl being filled because of the gap to the upside, but what we're waiting on is a break of the highest high of the higher, of the all-time high. That's technically what we're waiting on. That you can see a gradual trend like this, or Bitcoin. Sometimes you can just get that parabolic candle to the upside here. So that's another signal for Doge as well. And again, just in case you haven't watched the video from earlier, last time we got this signal, we were at around 42, mid 42,000 range, and ran up to around 30. It ran up around 30,000 to around the new 74, 75,000 range. So this signal here, technically for this leg, can put us in striking range of $100,000. So again, expect shorts, expect all that kind of stuff going on as we get ready to make history with those numbers. So overall, the market is seeing higher, and we're seeing that across the board. So I expect that as well with Doge. So we'll keep an eye on this, keep monitoring, and we have that scenario now for a price move to around 22 cents, which is the beginning of phases of the leg. Target still 45 cents, but this is certainly a major point that we're coming up here to see some good price movement. So kind of look for that over the next few days. So just want to provide you with that update tonight. If you found value, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping us get to 100,000 before Bitcoin does. I greatly appreciate it. Leave me a comment, share the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.